Filming with Cristiano Ronaldo. You get the call. There's a shoot. We need someone to come. Simon Cowell came in. You'd watch some of the rehearsals. I'm there dropping the ball, getting fuming. The fear of being on my deathbed. And looking back at my life and wishing, I wish I did that. I wish I had done that. I wish I hadn't done that. It's one of the most powerful driving forces in my life.
Welcome back to another episode of the Dr. Prince Show with me, Dr. Prince, OBE. And for you, our very special audience, we have an amazing guest, the one and only, on the universe, there's only one, Jeremy Lynch. Welcome, my brother, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
And you got me.
We got it for it.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
See, I'm a bit scared when I hit people with my fist, because like, for a minute I actually couldn't see your fist. When all I could see was mine.
Your fists are big. I mean, are they registered as lethal weapons? Or?
Well, there was licensed at one point, but then the British board didn't re-license me.
Right.
So they actually let me out where I can use these. And
that's like letting a lion out on the street.
Yeah,
that should be illegal.
Seriously, I think so too. They're like 2 bricks at the end of a stick, or
it's like a computer game.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? And someone on Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. Think about how many men you've knocked out with them fists.
Yeah, quite a few, you know.
You put a lot of men to sleep with them.
Yeah, but you know what? Whatever you give out, you got to get back one day.
Yeah, but you knocked out more than you got knocked out, so...
Listen, man, this is about you, bro. I'm here. I took my nice shoes off to relax, because like, everything was so nice in there. Man just could not just walk around in the yard, bro. I had to respect the premises, bust off my shoes, and I put on my nice cream shoes, you know, bro.
Bro, I'm looking at the socks thinking you've outsocked me.
Bro, man.
I've got my plain, basic...
I always outsocked you. I had pink ones with yellow dots. I had purple ones with... Bro, I seriously, with socks, I love it.
To be fair, do you remember when we first met, the very first thing that I said to you?
No.
I was playing the piano, you was having...
Where was we, bro?
We were in a hotel.
Yeah.
I think it was in Kensington, Chelsea.
Yeah.
Nice place.
What was you there for?
We were there for Soccer Aid, and you were having dinner or something with Harry Redknapp.
Yeah.
And I was just playing the hotel
Why? You remember me sharp, bro.
And then you came over, and then I said... We spoke a bit, but I remember in the first conversation I said to you, you look like you got a lot of swag. What do you do? Because you come over just like, the way you just floated over, man's always dressed well as well, like, look, this is, bruv.
Well, I've got to look after, man.
I mentioned your swag, and you're coming in my house, out-socking me, out-swagging me.
Come on.
You just got it like that.
But look at the reason why I went up to you, Jeremy, because you were different from everybody else that was there.
Yeah.
The piano weren't saying Jeremy on there.
No.
It was just a piano sitting there.
Yeah.
But you found yourself over there, you just started playing, and I love music, bro. I love music, I hear music, I just want to sing. I don't care what anyone thinks about my singing, that's what flows out of me. Yeah. So that's what I was doing, that's when I started talking to you, like, and I wanted to kind of freestyle and muck around with you and stuff like that. So we got to know each other, man. I got to find out a little bit about you, and from that day, I said, this guy is a very special guy, and I wanted to know more about you, bruv. And look at us here now today, and you're an absolutely awesome guest, and I'm so pleased to have you, man.
Thanks, sir. My pleasure.
Let's get into it, because I think, you know, the audience want to know a bit more about you, how your journey began, and basically, let's kick off the fact that you are a world freestyle champion. Have I got that right?
No.
Okay, maybe you are to me. So tell me how far you got with the freestyle.
I mean, got pretty far with it. I've never actually entered any official tournaments or competitions.
Okay. Why is that, bruv? Because you are the shit, bruv.
I mean, the guys that are top, like the world level now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get near them in a tournament.
Okay.
Like the hours you have to dedicate to the one craft, I just can't commit to it. These boys are doing like 8, 10, 12 hours a day sometimes.
Wow.
And I've got...
Practice.
I can't compete with that.
Wow.
Like we talk about your time budget, you can master whatever you want, but you're going to have to allocate some of your time budget to that. I haven't got that time budget to allocate to being to practicing enough to be world elite level.
Okay.
But I practice enough to sustain a high standard to do what I need to do in terms of creating content.
Let's strip it back.
Right.
Let's go back to the beginning, you know, to explain a little bit, talk a little bit about little Jeremy.
Little Jeremy
coming up in the family.
Yeah.
The ends, what growing up was like for you, what impacted you, you know, growing up.
Yeah, see, not a lot of people know that much about little Jeremy.
Little Jeremy.
My mum said I used to kick a lot when I was in her tummy.
Okay.
Which makes sense.
Here we getting back.
I mean, what do you want to know, really?
Okay. Let's go back to your early memories
Right.
of being a little young Jeremy.
Yeah.
Was you a happy young man, you know?
Yeah, I was.
And what was your relationships like with mum and dad? Because for me, I love to start there.
Yeah.
Because you find out a lot about people
By
when
their
you go
relationships.
back.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? From when they was a kid, you find out where their belief systems came from.
Yeah.
What molded the way they think. Like, you're a guy that's really driven. Where's that come from? So I'm just trying to gauge a little bit about your background so we could see maybe from an early age you picked this up. Who did it get it from? Your dad, your mum, your peers around you?
Yeah. That's a good question. Relationship with my mum and dad, amazing. Always been amazing.
Beautiful.
To this day, I have a really good relationship with both my parents. And I've got one older brother and two younger sisters.
Okay.
And we're a tight-knit family,
That's lovely,
tight-knit group.
man.
And yeah, we all get along really well. Yeah, I was a happy kid. Very mischievous, very creative. Always searching for the boundaries. Always.
How far you can push it.
Yeah, and then when you find it, prod it, push it, just dip your toe over it, just see what happens. That was me. I was always like curious about thinking outside the box and acting outside the box. And
Where were you in the family? Middle, first?
Middle
One,
second out of four. Yeah.
Who's the sport one?
Spoiled, definitely not me.
Okay.
Definitely not me. I think I got in trouble the most. Well, definitely.
And that was down to you.
Head and shoulders. Yeah, I deserved it.
Who was the disciplinarian?
My dad, but my mum would she'd tell him the story of what I'd done, and then he would take it from there.
Did you was you an obedient child? Did you know?
I was, but again, very naturally mischievous.
I hear
You know
you.
how we got things in that are in our
Yeah.
DNA, and we can suppress them, or we can just sort of go with them. My natural disposition was to be a bit mischievous, a bit
Got
cheeky,
you.
not ever malicious or in bad taste, but just a little bit cheeky, chappy,
Nice.
mischief.
Yeah, remind me of my boy Kyan.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so.
Um,
Anything stand out growing up that you remember that you'd say, yeah, I remember when that happened, you know, when I was growing up? Give me
Lots of
something,
things.
Bob.
Okay. I remember my dad taking me to a car show in the NEC in Birmingham.
Wow.
First time I ever saw Ferraris and Maseratis
That's cool.
and Aston Martins.
Must have blew your mind.
I loved it. And from then, I liked fast cars.
Because the closest thing I got to that was not even seeing my own little toy Ferrari, but maybe seeing my brethren's toy Ferrari.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we probably come up in similar worlds where that's just so far removed from the norm for our circle, our family, our circle of friends. But my dad, he went out of his way to take us to that show.
Nice.
And he loved fast cars as well, but it was obviously way outside of what we could afford. We didn't have much growing up. But it was nice to look, and that was enough for us. We didn't need to have one, but we just looked and sat in a few of them, and I've still got pictures to this day.
I've dreamed it.
Yeah, and then obviously we're a lot further along now, and I managed to work myself into position to be able to to buy a nice
Do
car.
you remember if you looked and said, I want to get that car? Because I remember seeing Capris and thinking they just look like fast, flashy cars, and I'm going to get one of them when I get older. Do you remember thinking?
Yeah, I do. There was a Jaguar XJ220. I was a little kid and I knew Jaguar XJ220. Where people were like, what's your favourite car? Jaguar XJ220. Little 6-year-old.
Yeah.
I liked the Lotus Esprit, Lotus Elan. I don't really like them anymore, but I did when I was a kid.
You did, yeah.
Things move on.
Nice.
But I do. I mean, that's another thing. Like things that you think are amazing in the moment. There's a powerful message there.
Yeah.
Skip forward a few years and
there's a powerful message.
You see them totally differently, right? So even I'm aware of that now. So if I think something's amazing in the moment, I'm aware that times change. We move.
Yeah.
Your taste changes, your perspective changes, you grow as a person, you evolve. Things that you want today and you might think that, you might feel like you need them. It could be anything, it could be a partner, it could be a job, it could be material possessions, it could be a car, it could be a house. And right now you might feel like, if only I could have that, I'll be happy. That's all I ever want and need. It's in our nature to always seek the next challenge, the next, to progress, to always be looking for the next thing.
The next thing. And time's always changing.
Yes.
Sometimes we think this is how it's going to be.
Yeah.
But as time goes on, you'll see change is inevitable.
Inevitable. And that's why when people used to say to me, you've changed, as if that's an insult.
Isn't it?
That is...
It's the greatest thing.
Number one, it's inevitable, like you said. So that's a bit like saying, you've breathed.
Yeah.
Well, I hope so. I hope I've changed. I hope I've evolved. I hope I'm not the same person I was however long ago you're talking about. That's number one. So if anyone says to you, you've changed, as if it's a bad thing, you got to question that.
Because they haven't said how you've changed. They've just said you've changed.
You've changed. So that's one.
So for me, I'll take that as growth.
Well, yeah, you should be changing. So
unless you told me that I've become a nasty, horrible person.
Yeah, obviously, if you change for the worse, then that's not what we should be doing, and that can happen. But yeah, if someone's going to say you've changed, they've got to clarify. Clarify how you changed, because we hope for change. That's what we should.
So talk to us, because we love the football. Listen to me, I've got boxing on my head, yeah? We love the football, bro.
Yes.
How did that start? Because we've got loads of youths that's going to be watching this. We've got loads of people that love football fans, and loads of people that follow you as well.
Yeah.
You know, how did football begin? As a little Jeremy, what did you see? Was there someone that inspired you, like your dad took you to the car showroom?
Yeah, great question. It's my dad again. He took me to the park.
Boom, dad, man. Big up for dads.
He was there, he was there.
Your boys out to experience different things.
Yeah. And half of it was he loved playing football, so...
Easy.
Any excuse for him to have a kick around as well.
Yeah,
but
my dad was out with cricket.
Yeah. So he took us to the park a lot, me and my brother, and he used to run through skills and drills and just little bits of training. He wasn't a football coach, but he loved football, watched football all the time, knew the game. So it really helped with helping me to improve my game and stuff. The original Ronaldo, he was one of my inspirations. Just loved watching him play. Zinedine Zidane, another one. Who else? Ronaldinho. There were some players I really loved growing up.
You used to sit down and watch football with your dad?
Yeah, all the time. All the time, especially the World Cups. That was when we were allowed to stay up late to watch the football.
Nice.
So that was good. You know how, as kids, you have natural interests, and good parents will often let their kids try lots of different things to figure out what they like and what they don't like. My parents were good like that.
Yeah, because your parents come from my generation, because I'm the middle one.
Yeah.
My brother's 3 years older than me.
Yeah.
Your dad's 5 years older than me, so he would have been like my older brother. So it's that same generation. So things changed a bit, where our parents was like brushed off sports. Sports, a foolish thing that can't learn your lessons.
Yeah.
But by the time our generation come, we realised that actually that's good to encourage your youth if they've got a talent. So your dad, I can see him encouraging you. Here's what I found out when I went online. I thought, let me find out what they're saying online.
Yeah.
And online, they're saying that that you went for trials or something, or you played for Arsenal, but they released you. They let you go.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I wanted to go in was, what was that like? Because that must have been a dream to get into the Arsenal team and play for Arsenal. And then there was another part where you was meant to have said, I'm one of the best, youth players out there. Because for me, seeing you and your football ability, why wouldn't I say that if I was you? Why wouldn't I say that? You got to have confidence.
Yeah, I didn't say that.
You never said it?
No, but you know it's like...
How did it work?
When you're in the public eye, people put words in your mouth. It's part and parcel of it. It's an unfortunate thing that happens.
Because it blew up big, didn't it, brother?
Someone else commented on my technical ability with the ball.
Yeah.
But at this time, I was already doing a professional freestyler.
Yeah.
And a street baller. And
that's it, I see you.
yeah, it's two different things. So
it is.
All of the best freestylers and street footballers in the world can do things with a football that top-level pro footballers don't need to do. It's two different sports.
Okay.
It's all football, but it's completely different. It's like beach football.
That's right. Yeah, it's different.
What's
skills,
it called?
different.
Futsal.
Five-a-side.
Five-a-side.
Different from
small-sided stuff.
11-a-side.
Freestyles. Panna tournaments. There's literally loads of different departments within football. And the specialists in each department can do things that specialists in other departments are not expected to do.
That's right.
But yeah, someone else commented on that, and then I told the story, and then people like to jump on it and try and chase for views. Like, I could shut down all the haters and any toxic trolls out there.
We don't care about them.
Like
We're
that.
not doing it for them.
But I don't really give them attention.
Yeah.
I don't entertain it.
Okay.
So let's a young man tells a story that he got. If someone says if someone says you can do things with a football that even some of the first team can't do.
Yeah.
As a young man, that's gonna be like an amazing compliment. You're gonna be feel privileged, humbled, excited. You're gonna be gassed.
Yeah.
Right? So I was gassed, but then I told the story, and then people completely contort it to.
I got you.
All of a sudden, it's me saying I'm better than Thierry Henry and Dennis Bergkamp. Arsene Wenger says so.
Wow.
But this is what toxic internet trolls do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. I think they'll bring in.
Do you know why this is important, Jeremy?
I think they'll bring in laws to make it more illegal as time goes on.
Yeah. To talk shit
the
about
hate
other
incitement
people.
that happens online. But right now, there's a window of time where
people feel free to do it.
Yeah, they get away with it.
Keyboard warriors, they call them.
Yeah, but again,
that's the wrong word.
No, it's actually hate incitement.
It should be keyboard wankers.
I mean, it's toxic trolling.
Because it's how easy is it to talk moist about somebody, to put somebody down? How easy is that?
People try and put me down all the time, but it's
how much does that hurt?
It's nothing that anyone in the public eye doesn't have to contend with.
Yeah, but you're a human being.
It's very wrong. Yeah, but
how does Jeremy feel about that?
Jeremy has learned to adapt to the way of the world, like most people in the public eye. But people in the public eye are dehumanized, myself included. And it's wrong, because just because someone is well known for what they do.
Beautiful. Take it there, bruv. Because this is what I talk about.
Does not give people the right to treat them as less of a human being. So if there's something that you would not do or say to someone as a human being, as a fellow human being, you should not say or do that to a famous human being.
That's right.
A celebrity, someone in the public eye.
Because all it is just that they're on a camera screen, and a lot more people know them than know most people, everyday people at home. That's the only thing that differs you. Apart from that, they got to eat, shit, piss, they got to do the same thing you do.
Absolutely.
So for me, it's like, go figure, man.
Yeah.
That the person got feelings, Recently, who was it that killed himself over?
Oh, many. Caroline Flack.
Was that the latest one, isn't it?
She's one of the recent ones.
Yeah.
And do you know the irony is, Caroline Flack was. There was, I mean, it was disgusting. It was disgusting what was done to her by the traditional media and social media, and the same people that would troll Caroline and loads of people in the public eye, they will try to speak on mental health.
Wow.
It's, for me, that is the epitome of hypocrisy.
Yeah. Yes.
If you're going to choose to go down the road of trolling another human being, or hating on them, or trying to spew toxic negativity their way into their life, of all the good things you could be doing with your time, with your days, with your minutes, with your hours, you're choosing to do that. You have then debilitated yourself from being able to speak on mental health
that area.
without being a hypocrite.
Because you're there creating mental health for others.
Yes, because you don't know what someone else is going through.
Yeah.
So, and there is never a need to send negativity or try and put someone else down. And there's never a need for it. It's always a choice. So when people choose to do that, it's obviously a bad choice. But for you to then do that and then try and speak on mental health makes you a complete and utter hypocrite. So.
Isn't it more telling us more about the person
Absolutely.
than it is
Absolutely.
about what they're trying to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, anyone who incites hate towards another or tries to put someone down, it speaks volumes of what's going on with them.
You come over to me, Jeremy, like a very gentle, beautiful soul that doesn't have that heart in you to be going at anyone, trying to hurt other people's feelings, and you're very conscious about how you deal with other people and the effects that you have. This is how you come over to me. This is the Jeremy I know. This is the Jeremy I've met. Do you know what I'm saying?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So I can see how things like that would affect you. Things like that would hurt you. And it's, bro, let me tell you something. People look at me and think, that's, tough Prince, whatever.
Yeah.
He's a fighter. Bro, in here, this gentle soul, this heart that beats in here is looking to deal with people in a loving way and wants to be treated in a loving way. So I hurt when someone tries to chat shit about me and come against me. How we deal with it is how we deal with it, but I'm just focusing on the hurt side of things. And I think as men sometimes, we don't want to show that things hurt us. We want to put up this shield like, yeah, I'm all right, there's life in it, haters and rare. But just I'm encouraging guys to own it. Own that feeling like, nah, that hurt me, bro. What you done, what you said, what you posted out, that really hurts.
Yeah, I mean, I'm human.
Exactly.
Which, I mean, that's a key point that is, it sounds like, oh, that's an obvious statement, but it's a key point that's missed. I'm a human being. So that's number one. Number two, I've got a family. Now, we speak about hurt. I don't empower anyone to hurt me. I believe that we are in control of how we respond to things.
That's right.
And anyone tries to weaken me, I try and flip it for it to strengthen me.
How do you deal with that? Because we've a natural tendency to hit back.
There is a natural tendency to hit back.
I'm gonna come back at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, what shit you got on you? Let me come back at you. How do you fight that temptation? Because that's not your natural self.
Yeah.
That's what's forced out of you to be nasty back.
Yeah, because
how do you deal with that?
Yeah, well, this is a good question. It's a good point. So anyone, like we say, anyone in the public eye, they're still a human being.
Yeah.
They're still going to make mistakes. If there's anything that all humans have in common, that humans are prone to error. So that's a normal part of the process of evolving, developing. You're going to make mistakes. You're not going to get everything right all the time.
That's right.
But where I was going with, I know who I am and what I stand for, my legacy. I've dedicated over a decade of my life to putting out wholesome, positive content, mostly child-friendly.
Yeah, seen that.
And I've done my best to try and inspire
See
millions, be it to get into sport, be more active. I've tried my best to be a positive role model and
My
to
boys
continue.
love it.
And I believe that I am a positive role model.
So do I,
In fact, I know for a fact that I am a positive role model.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that the more I just show myself,
Beautiful.
it makes anyone who spews out lies and nonsense look very silly.
So what you're saying
Because
is
it's completely contradicting the
you
true
come
picture
back with
of who I am.
success. You keep pushing out that goodness, that positivity, while they're putting out whatever little poison out there.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
There's been an age-old conflict between light and darkness. But if the light shines, it will always overcome the darkness.
I love
If
it.
a room is pitch black and a light is turned on,
Yeah.
the light will overcome the darkness.
Okay.
And that is the principle and the policy that I live by. And I know that people can try and put me down. They can try and spread lies and false rumours about me.
Yeah.
But all I need to do is shine my light.
Easy, bro.
Show myself.
Beautiful.
And it will overcome any darkness that people are trying to send into my life.
Fantastic, Jeremy.
And over time, more and more people are getting to see now who I actually am. Because for quite a long time, I was in a unique position where I'd put out thousands of hours of positive content.
Yeah, bro.
But it didn't really show who I am.
I hear you.
It's mostly football based, kicking, doing amazing things with the football.
So this is part of your journey you're really explaining, yeah?
Yeah.
Your
So,
growth.
Yeah. So for people, like, there was a bit of a mystery about who actually is Jezza. Like, we know he can play football. We know he can do these amazing tricks and kick a ball
Jezza.
into the top corner. But in these videos, we're not really getting to know him. We're not really getting to see who he is.
Yes.
So, yeah, that probably did leave me a little bit open for people to make up their own false narratives.
Yeah, I hear
and
you.
just make up stories and stuff. Whereas now, the last year or so, I've been doing much more of that. And even things like this, just showing who I am as a person. I'm a human being.
Nice.
I've got good intentions. Love always overcomes hate. If you look at my brand of content, my engagement with the people that engage with me, there's an overwhelming underlying theme of love, positivity,
Trust me.
uplifting, motivation, inspiration, and elevating others rather than trying to pull them down.
Yeah. There's so many youths that you'll never meet, Jezza, never, that you have touched and you've made them see a different model. There's so many youths, Jezza, let me keep it real with you, that you don't realize, even though lots of people send you messages, there's others that haven't, but you've impacted on them. Let me show you something about youths, yeah? Young people need to see a model of what could possibly be. That's why we look at people playing instruments, and a youth starts playing an instrument because he saw that person inspire them. They saw, you talked about who you looked at in football. That person, you wanted to be like them. We got to present the models, bro. When the guy with the drugs is rolling around in the ends in the estate with his top mercs, and he's got these dirty ways, and he's grooming these little kids to be like him, they are looking up to him because they're thinking that's a possibility, that they could reach there. Look, he's in the ends, we could be like him, we could be rolling around in that car, but that's a false dream. And what you're doing is you're smashing that dream and saying, there's a better way. Kick a ball, bro.
Thank you, sir. It means a lot.
Set up your own channel, you know, create something for yourself. Because, bro, let me show you something. Here was what I got from kind of like researching more on you when I went online and researched in various areas, yeah? I was under the impression that, okay, this guy's gone in, he's gone in a trial, they've refused him to come in the team, they've cut his contract or whatever it was, and then here's the next stage. What did Jezza do after that?
Yeah.
And for me, I've seen so many, man. This man has gone as far as killing themselves because they didn't see their dream or what they wanted in life to materialize. But I'm saying, go and check out Jezza. Go and look what this brother does, yeah? You looked and said, I'm gonna improve my skills. I'm gonna join and create something new. I'm gonna get the cameras on me. I'm gonna let everybody see my skills. I'm gonna entertain. All that takes courage. To go out on the street, you know, bruv. You didn't pay people to say, come and watch me. You went out there with all the doubts and fears. Bro, let's talk about that as a young man, yeah? And then we'll get on to Britain's Got Talent.
Okay.
Yeah? As a young man.
Do we have to go on the Britain?
Let's kill it, brother, yeah?
Do we have to?
Seriously.
All right,
because this is to do with people out there with dreams and visions of their own.
Yeah.
And they got to see how possible it is, bro. To make things happen that their mind's telling them, nah, not you. You're not that good. In our minds, everyone's better than us. Yeah, but he sounds better if we're singers. Yeah, but I'm not as good as him. And if we're ballers, yeah, I'm not gonna make it. Bro, talk to people about what you had to tell yourself to be able to go out there, demonstrate your skills. Tell them about the model. What did you do? How much did you practice? So they can understand what it takes to get there.
For me, when I was younger, I was naturally quite introverted and quite shy. So I really had to force myself to do anything performative and put myself out there. And it did take courage, and it was uncomfortable. And sometimes you feel embarrassed, and it's not, a lot of the times it wasn't fun. But that's in the early stages. But what I learned was, with anything, the more you do it, the more comfortable it becomes.
Beautiful.
That goes both ways.
Okay.
So, for bad habits as well, the more you do them, be aware that the more comfortable it will become to do them.
That's it.
But the way we are designed is...
that's great.
The more we do
That's
things,
great what you just said. Absolutely great. Okay, don't forget what you're going to say next one. I just had to stop you there. That's brilliant. Bad habits, the same. The more you do it, is the more comfortable it gets. And that feeling that you felt of guilt and uneasy when you began has all gone away.
How true is it, though? Think about yourself. When you were boxing, right? How many hours did you spend working on your jab?
You do not want to know.
Until it became automatic.
You do. But when I say soreness, soreness till I felt like I couldn't jab when it was time for the next session. I felt this arm can't do nothing more. My back is so sore because my trainer used to teach to punch from here. You hear that? Do you know what I'm saying?
I hear it.
And that's from a sitting position.
Yeah.
And I'm not in the condition that I used to be in my 20s and 30s, well, even my 40s, because I made a comeback at 44. But the difficulty of developing that, what you have to break through to get there.
But what was your coach's method behind it? What was his thinking? It was to create such strong pathways in your brain that it becomes ingrained in your subconscious.
That's it.
So that when you're in a fight situation,
bam, it happens without you even thinking.
Autopilot, and your form, your shape.
Are you telling us that's what happened with the way you kick, the way you done what you were doing?
It's all muscle memory, just like with your boxing.
Yeah.
It's all muscle memory, but with the getting more comfortable in uncomfortable situations, it's just down to doing it, and doing it, and doing it, and doing it. Just like public speaking, or any type of performance, or any skill set, or any motor skills, anything. It's all down to practice.
Show me what a day looked like for you as a young boy who had a dream of being... What was your dream when you was a young boy, apart from playing for a football team? Because I know you had that.
Yeah, it was that, and I was pretty one-track minded with it until I started getting into the freestyling, and then I liked it. I enjoyed doing that on the side, and then...
Because you played semi-pro for a team.
Yeah, I've played a bit of semi-pro. I've played at different levels for periods of time, but I very quickly, when I was, I was still young. I think I was still at school. I started to get opportunities to do some really amazing things through the football tricks.
Okay.
And I had a choice to explore that or to be one-track minded and only do football. And I sort of went with the flow, thinking I was going with the flow for now.
Give me an
tricks.
example. What
filming with
opportunity?
Cristiano Ronaldo. We
Okay.
get the call. There's a shoot. We need someone to come and kick ball with
Who
Cristiano.
got that call?
Max Ferdinand. He's Rio Ferdinand's cousin.
Okay.
He gave me the call. Rio
Because
Ferdinand.
you got family in football as well.
I've got family. I've not really, to be fair. I've got friends in football, and I've built up friends in football over the years. But I'm good friends with Max Ferdinand, and Rio Ferdinand just started his online magazine called #5mag.
Okay.
And they needed someone, and I was one of the most well known at the time for doing the tricks. And he gave me the call. He said, "This is you. If you want this, this is you. You just need to come up to Manchester. It's not paid, but just bring yourself and come kick ball with Ronaldo. The boys are going to film it, and it's going to be a video."
It's not paid. It's opportunity.
That is a key message. I'm glad you picked up on
Of
that.
course, man.
Because young people today in particular,
Just want to hear about the money.
there can be a sense of entitlement. Whereas, I mean, if you go back before my generation, I think there was even less a sense of entitlement. It's just like, you work, you get what you deserve, you do the work, you don't do the work, you don't get it. But yeah, it's a key message that I try to drive home, and I know you do as well.
Yeah, it's almost like, how much am I getting paid? The minute that you got to do something, how much am I getting?
Yeah.
Bro, you ain't paid your dues, bro.
Yes, I drove a banger at the time. It was worth like, I think 300 quid the car. I didn't even know if it could get up to Manchester.
About
and back.
£50 cars, bro.
But inflation. Probably been a similar sort of.
Your car was hotter than mine, bro.
But I didn't know if it was going to get me up and back.
Yeah.
I thought it would, but it was a sort of car that could well break down. And then imagine that being on the side of the motorway while Cristiano Ronaldo is waiting for you, and you just bailed on the shoot.
What impact did that have on you after you done that and went down there and done that filming, bro?
I wasn't happy with myself.
Okay.
Because I knew that it was a shadow of what I was capable of if I was fit and healthy and well. But at the same time, I knew that I could not have done any better given the circumstances. I was struggling, but I pushed through it, and just that's another key. So
was it worth going down there and meeting Ronaldo?
Oh, that was what propelled my career. That video went viral.
Boom.
When the internet
That's what I'm
was
talking about,
relatively
bro.
new.
Imagine staying in your bed. You would have never have known. I just stayed in bed and missed out on the chance of changing the course of my life.
Yeah. And if I could go back, I'd do it over 100 times. Same thing. Unless you really can't.
Yeah.
Show up.
Yeah.
Show up.
That's right.
That's more than half the battle.
There you go.
If you want to get in shape, just go to the gym. Be there. You're already past halfway. You're there. Then just do a bit, and even just doing something, it's creating pathways in your brain that help to build the habit.
Yeah.
And it's going to be that much easier the next time to go and start, because
And ignore that voice.
Yes, because we're all creatures of habit.
Thank you.
We're all creatures of
and
habit.
we're wired to stay comfortable.
Yes.
We're wired to be comfy.
Yes.
And getting up out of bed to do the things that help you to reach your goals and attain success isn't comfortable.
No.
It's very uncomfortable.
To have a comfortable life, you have to have uncomfortable days.
And they're plenty.
That is it. Every day I am uncomfortable.
talk to him about the uncomfortableness of going into Britain's Got Talent in the early days. I'm talking like second and third series, I think it was. Like, bro, that's dope. You're like 19, bro. Come on. I ain't got the kahunas to go on Britain's Got Talent.
Yeah, to be fair, by that stage, I had confidence. Maybe a little bit overly confident at times.
Until it was cringeworthy confidence. Like, no.
I mean, you always gonna cringe a little bit looking at you. A little bit, you're gonna cringe a little bit.
That?
Yeah. But I mean, I had a big personality, especially. I look back, I was a young kid, but I was putting myself out there.
Good.
I was trying things. I was
Nice.
going for stuff. And
over the course of time, you've kind of developed into this individual.
Yeah, if I had a mentor when I was that age to sort of give me another perspective, I believe I would have not dropped the ball twice on national TV live in
It was mental, wasn't it?
15 million people
Jezza,
watching.
It was mental, bro.
It was mental.
Because you've done that thousands of times.
Well, this is the thing. I hadn't.
Huh?
Yeah. I'd never done it.
Oh, what?
That routine was me pushing myself live.
At the moment, like taking
It was
to another
planned.
level.
I knew the routine,
Okay.
but I messed it up every time in rehearsals without fail.
Really?
Never got through it once. Now, anyone with a bit of experience would say,
Okay, let me allow that one.
just go 80%.
Okay.
You need, statistically, you need to be nailing this far more than you're not.
Okay.
Because when it comes, I was thinking, it'll be all right on the night.
Really?
That's
under
not
the bright
the
lights.
mentality. The mentality is the Kobe Bryant mentality.
Yes.
Mamba mentality.
Yeah.
You're either prepared or you're
Oh,
not.
you're not.
I was not prepared for that routine.
to fail if you don't prepare.
Yes.
Yes.
My intentions were good. The spirit was good. Push yourself. Strive for more.
Yeah.
You know, try and be the best version of yourself. Excel.
I love it, bro. Yeah.
Good foundational
Yes,
principles.
you've got all of this stuff, but you haven't put the work in. It goes hand to hand.
Yeah, I didn't know how to piece together those principles and apply it to also being realistic.
Yeah.
Like, what do they say? Set SMART goals.
There you go.
What's the breakdown of SMART?
Specific,
measurable,
achievable, a realistic, time scale.
Yes. So I was not smart with it because, like I said, every time in rehearsals I dropped the ball. Simon Cowell came in, he'd watch some of the rehearsals. I'm there dropping the ball, getting fuming, thinking,
Wow.
I'm better than this. But it'll be
And
all
the
right.
more you're telling yourself that, is the more you're not relaxed, because you got to be in a relaxed state.
Yeah. But I didn't mess up as badly as I did on the night. That was definitely the worst.
Really?
Yeah, so the worst came when it really mattered.
Really?
But this is the mad thing.
I love the but. Isn't failure something we have to embrace?
Preach it. This is,
my gosh.
and this is something for years.
We're letting it break us.
For years, I was unhappy with it.
Really, it's hard to let it go.
It was hard to let it go.
Yeah, I feel
For
you.
years, it's like, I wish I did better there.
Yeah.
But a few years ago, I switched it.
Yeah.
And if I could go back, sounds crazy, I wouldn't change it. I would let myself fail because the gold that I have drawn from the failure.
You know what you've done that you don't even realise? You reframed the story, bro.
Yeah.
You've done the classic strategy of reframing the story that enabled yourself to grow and become a better person with strength and wisdom.
Yes.
Because before, your initial thought was just failure and embarrassment and how could I? And that's how people are going to see me.
Yes.
But when you reframed it, you actually started to feel like, Wakanda. You know what I'm saying?
100.
You start to feel like that, like, I'm the man, I went and done this, I went and failed.
Yes.
We have to embrace failure.
Yeah.
Failure comes growth, bro. It's
I'm
a fertilizer.
100. I'm like you, right? We're winners.
Yeah.
It's in us. It's in our DNA. We can't change that.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah.
We didn't have anything to do with our genetic makeup.
You think so?
Oh, we can get on to this. But we hate failing.
We get into that. We
hate failing until we learn to have a different mentality and perspective, to see failure as not what we're aiming for, but if it comes, which it will, it's inevitable, then we draw all the superpowers that can only be unlocked from failure.
So it's not what happens, it's how we process what happens.
Yes.
Because the same thing could happen to the same different people, and you take it in one way and soar.
Yeah.
I take it in one way. You see me homeless on the streets, I'm a drug addict, and what happened to you? Well, he just told me a story that the same thing happened to another guy I know, but that guy's flying. That woman's flying. They're doing brilliant.
Yeah.
What you doing here, bruv? What you doing? Corner store, on the floor, drugstore. What you doing?
Yeah. 100%.
Reframe the story.
Reframe the story.
How you processed it.
Let it be a superpower.
So you told yourself that this was good for me? That you learned from it? What did you tell yourself?
Absolutely. Well, I know now, it's easy in retrospect.
Yeah.
I know now the lessons that I've drawn from it. I remember at the time thinking, what good can come of this? I could have won the show.
Yeah.
I could have come second or third, or but I didn't. I went out in disgrace.
Yeah.
In
Did you?
It wasn't. It felt like disgrace
felt
to
like
me.
disgrace.
My standards, by my standards, I would, I was disgraced. But I had people come up to me in the street saying, you know what? I loved your performance. You messed up, but, bruv, it don't matter.
You see?
You went out there, you tried it.
Boom.
And I learned some really valuable lessons. It was a TV show, right? Now, think about how much TV people consume in the average day, week, month, year, in their lifetime. And how much of it is actually memorable. Now, it's only a few years after that I realised and learned that by me messing up what felt like a disgrace and a disaster, not only unlocked certain superpowers and knowledge that I just wouldn't get from always winning and always getting everything right, it also made my performance more memorable than nearly everybody who got further than me in the competition.
Wow.
So,
rewind that bit when you're playing it and listen to that again, yeah?
So what I learned is what may feel like a disaster in the moment and a bad thing, a negative thing, just be patient, because you skip forward a few years and I guarantee you some good will have come of it. Probably so much good that when you look back and were given the option, if you could change it, would you? Eventually, you would say, actually, no, I wouldn't. As horrible as it was in the moment, think about your ex-boyfriends and girlfriends. In the moment, a lot of the time you're thinking, this is the one.
Yeah.
This is me.
Yeah.
And then you break up and you're devastated.
Yeah.
And then a few years later, someone goes, would you get back with them? You're like, what was I thinking? No chance.
All right.
It's the same with life. What I've learned is every failure, every negative experience, every horrible thing that happens in your life is equipping you to be able to draw from that experience to help someone in the future.
There you go.
And if you don't go through those bad times and bad experiences, you've got nothing to draw from.
What you got?
No drug addict is going to listen to a person who has never been clean, never taken a drug, because you can't relate.
That's right, my
To
brother.
be able to relate to people suffering, you have to suffer.
Boom.
And that is something that I had to learn over time. And once you learn it, it does change. It changes your life.
It does,
It
bro.
makes everything a win-win.
Imagine the most horrible things that hurt you turn out to be the greatest moment in life-changing moments in your life.
100%. And obviously, we're human, so things are going to feel horrible in the moment. We're like anyone else. You're going to have bad things, and it's not nice. But in the back of your mind, you're aware that this is suffering. The way life is, suffering is meant to make us stronger and give us this pot of gold to be able to draw from to help the next generation or anyone that we come into contact with, to empower us to impact their lives. And without it, we just can't. We just can't.
Easy, champ.
Yeah, man.
So we're talking about love now. So this is awesome because I love you and Shauna's relationship.
Thank you, sir.
It lets off that beautiful feeling that makes other people believe in love. It makes other people believe that there are people out there having a great relationship, and it's not fake, and it's not just for YouTube, and it's not just for likes. It's actually two real people who have decided to open up and show their relationship on screen and go through things together.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, what the world sees of me and Shauna and our relationship it equates to less than 0.1% of what actually happens, you know.
That's right. That's right.
Our most beautiful moments have mostly been off camera.
Of course.
But it's lovely to document some.
Yeah, because you got to argue.
Oh,
You got to say, pull your pup stinks, and I'm not staying in this room. You got to do all of that. You got to be pissed off at each other at times.
I mean, we're normal, we're human beings.
Yeah, bro.
I always say, if a couple doesn't ever have any argument or dispute or debate or disagreements, then the chances are the lines of communication are not as open as they should be.
Thank you. And someone's just being submissive and just going with the program.
Yes, someone's just being completely amiable and biting their tongue. But I don't believe that's healthy. I think that life is what makes the ups, is the downs. What makes light is the shade.
Easy, just
and it's the same with experiences. There would be no such thing as a good time if every moment was a good time. It would debilitate the good time from being a good time. It would just flatline and just be, I don't know, it'd just be a mediocre, there's no ups without any downs.
How are you going to enjoy the ups if you don't have the downs, bruv?
Yes.
They have to be there.
Absolutely. So,
you know, what are you going to light up if there's no darkness?
Exactly. So, yeah, we've got a really good relationship. I'm very grateful for her.
Nice.
How she puts up with me, I will never know.
Yeah.
The antics, the madness in the house, the filming, the content. Every day's an adventure with me. Like, I don't even know what I'm going to do from one day to the next half the time. But it's fun.
Yeah, because you put in a lot of time.
I love putting smiles on people's faces.
Yes, Bob, you have to.
Hit the nail on the head there. If you look at nearly all of my content,
Yeah.
somewhere that'll be the underlying intention, is to provide a moment of escapism,
That's it.
a moment of enjoyment, a moment to just smile and laugh.
Yeah.
The power of a laugh,
Bro.
If you can make someone laugh, that can snap them out of one state and into another. Fast track them into continuing their day in the right state.
Oh man.
Because something chemically happens
That's it.
inside of us
Talk it.
when we laugh.
Talk it, brother.
That's not an opinion.
That's right.
It's not a guess.
Yeah.
It's scientifically proven.
We can all change our state.
Yes.
If we change our thoughts, if we change the way we think, we can change our states. So if you keep saying, when someone says, how's your day? Bro, days, it's not all that, you know. Bruv, you can change that state by thinking about the things that make you smile, the things that make you happy, the things you're grateful for.
Yeah.
You can uplift and change the way you feel based on what you're thinking. That's a power that we don't use enough as human beings. So we give in to all the emotions that just flood into our life and feel we got no control over how we deal with today.
I couldn't agree more. They say that up to 98% of our decisions are subconscious, which means we're not even truly in control of them. Unless you learn to tap in to the knowledge, to override the subconscious and make, as much as you can, a conscious choice.
That's what we have the power to do. That's what separates us from animals and all other created beings.
Yes.
But we're not utilizing this. So let me break it down to the roadman. The roadman out there, they're like, something kicks off, and what do they say? What? You can't violate, man. You ain't making me look moist, so I got to. Well, no, you don't have to. You've chosen to. A man told me, okay, I have the greatest excuse. You killed my youth. I'm from road. Don't tell me that I don't know how to smoke, man. Okay? So I had the choice. Don't tell me I didn't have those demons in my head thinking, my boys are going to think I'm moist if I let this go. Man, ring my phone. Yo, Prince, we got this done. You don't have to worry. You don't have to do nothing. We'll deal with it for you. I could have let that go. But I have the power of choice. So I'm not going to let you do nothing. Because that's my son. So if anyone's going to act on this, then it's me. So it's my decision to make. Let's take back the power of decision making. Even over our emotions that are trying to take us this way, we don't have to go that way. Oh, I don't talk to my parents. I haven't talked to them for years. Well, why not? Oh, because this and this and that. No, bro. Decide. No, lady. Decide to take back control. What do you want?
I couldn't agree
What
more.
do you want?
What do you want?
Yeah, but how the hell do we get off love? My days, we love this subject so much of growth and all of that we even got back in it after talking about love. Let's talk about love because there's so many youths. Bruv, people out there have lost the real conception of love, marriage, connection, communication, relationships. It's become so, watered down. It's become about how you look. So girls are operating on themselves. They're doing holy crazy stuff to try to fit the mold of what looks good so they can feel like, yep, I tick this box now. I'm going to be liked. I'm going to be loved. I'm going to look attractive. And they focus on that. They forget that the adorning of your character allows your value to go up, your stocks and shares to go up when you have a valuable character. And it's not all about trying to look at those things where everyone's ass is supposed to be sticking out a mile out in a different direction, bruv. You know, everyone's shaped different. What's going on? Where's the love at, bro? We want to see the love in relationships, bro. Oh my gosh, what's going on? Jezza, talk to me.
Yeah, I mean,
You didn't find love, Jezza. You worked on love.
yeah, it comes over time, doesn't it?
There isn't Mr. and Mrs. Right out there. You have worked on becoming that person.
Yeah,
being right.
Any relationship is going to take work.
Like everything.
By work, I mean investing time, energy, effort, thought,
Boom.
Love. If you don't invest those things, something's going to go wrong.
Yeah.
You have to allocate time, quality time for your partner. You have to show them love. You have to go out of your way to understand their love languages and
Yeah, boy.
act on that, because
Love languages.
you can be.
What's yours, bro?
Mine are. Wait, mine's gone blank again. What are they? Got communication. It's not gifts. Gifts is bottom for me. I've done this. Me and my missus done the online test.
Okay.
It gives you percentages.
Yeah.
Physical touch was top for me, and then words of affirmation, I think, was.
Mine is communication.
Yeah.
And physical touch.
Yeah. I think. Yeah.
Yeah. If I can't communicate, that's a no-no.
It's key. It's key. It's key.
I love talk. I love chatting.
Well,
I love waking up, and first thing you do in the morning is just have chats.
Well, in any relationship, the thing you're going to do most is talking.
Yeah, I've learned so much.
No matter how much you love the other stuff,
Yeah.
you're going to mostly be talking.
Well, my talking normally ends up leading to that. You know, it's like the icing on the cake. Let's razz.
What are you looking at me like, what am I going to say?
You to come in, break it up, say something else.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. What works for your missus? What's her love language?
My missus, she. I got to back this up. I've got to know them now.
Yeah.
Right. I think gifts was bottom for her as well.
Okay.
Communication was right up there. Acts of service was low.
Okay.
Physical touch was sort of middle of the range.
Gee.
I think it was communication and what was the other one?
Affirmation. She likes
Words
being.
of affirmation. No,
Yeah.
Quality time. That's what it
Oh,
was.
that's it.
That's one of them. I was
That's
thinking, we've
it.
not covered this.
Yeah,
Quality
quality
time.
time was one
Hers
of
is
them.
top. That's her top one. Quality time is
Wow.
our Mrs. Top.
So you have to actually make that quality time
yeah.
with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
doubt.
I have to make sure that
I've had to work on that because I found myself can be so like driven, and like my wife said to encourage me and say it's not all about work, you know,
Yeah.
and that's good for me
Yeah.
because it's like in my head, because I'm doing something good, it's like what's wrong with that? But
Yeah.
but you can be doing the right thing and doing it in the wrong way.
Yeah. If you want to maintain.
Rewind that.
Yeah, it's true. If you want to
Listen to that
maintain it,
again.
if you want to maintain a healthy quality
Yeah.
relationship, you're gonna have to invest
Time.
into it,
Yeah.
and
Beautiful.
quality time is
Yeah.
right up there for my missus.
Nice.
So yeah.
What would you say? What would you say to these young boys who are just getting so gassed and out there, and we know that we've been there too. You know, we're out there, we're looking for the fittest, prettiest girl. We want our brethren to get gassed by our missus and whatever we got. But this commitment thing, you know, a lot of men are struggling with commitment.
Yeah.
And for me, you know, tell me wrong, you might be playing out every week, but for me, you're one committed young man that I've seen. You know, where that mindset come from early out to want to find and be with someone that, and you develop this love and a relationship with them.
Oh, I mean, it's
Do you think it's from growing up, seeing your mum and dad?
yeah. I
They
mean, my mum and
together,
dad
they're
gave me
broken
a
up.
really good example of a good, healthy marriage.
Hmm.
I see it like deal or no deal. Like sometimes take the box. Stop worrying about the other box. Sometimes deal. Wait till you're ready, but when you're ready and you find a good thing, take the deal.
Okay.
Don't mess up the deal.
Okay.
Because you see it happen a lot where guys have a good girl, good woman,
Yeah.
and she's good to them, and they don't treat her right, and then they lose her,
That's it.
and then they're begging for
Later
her
on
back.
down the line, they realise. Yeah,
So
true.
yeah, it's just that
You didn't want to fall
wanna
into
be
that
one of those.
mistake.
Yeah, as soon as I met my missus and we started seeing each other, I was aware that she's just amazing. Just if you ever lose this woman, you'll regret that for the rest of your life.
Boom.
And the fear of regret is a powerful driving force in my life, in everything I do.
Okay.
Every day.
Not the fear of failure, which is very different.
The fear of failure is fine.
Yeah, the fear
It
of
is-
regret, like you know that I shouldn't have done this. That regret.
The fear of
And why
regret.
did I go down that road?
The fear of being on my deathbed.
Yeah.
And looking back at my life and wishing, I wish I did that. I wish I
Yeah.
had done that. I wish I hadn't done that. It's one of the most powerful driving forces in my life. Because I
Beautiful.
heard, it must have been, 15, 20 years ago, I heard something that
Powerful
never left
driving
me.
force, Jezza.
It never left me, and it was, they did a survey of people's biggest regrets. And the survey was exclusive to elderly people on their deathbed, who they knew were going to pass
Gonna die, yeah.
imminently. And they asked them, what's your biggest regret in life? And the overwhelming response and answer was not something they did, but something they
Talking.
didn't do.
Beautiful.
And that never left me. And it makes perfect sense. Because if you try something and fail, you can live with that and you can die with that. Because you know, you don't have to wonder. But the mystery of wondering, if I had just tried to be a pilot, would I have got there? Would I have made the grade? If I had just tried to be a footballer, a plumber, an architect, an artist, if I had just taken that step, would my life have been completely different, and would my inbuilt passion been a part of my life in a way that I never got to experience? To not know, I'm not cool with that. I'll rather know. I'll rather try, fall on my face. You can laugh at me. I don't mind. Because when all's said and done, I'm not going to be wondering nothing. Because when I'm here in the moment, I'm going for everything that I can. And it stems from that survey, which, again, I can't skip forward to being elderly and on a deathbed. But the best I can do is try and draw from the experience of others. And my granddad always taught me there's only two ways to learn things. One is from your own experience. Two is from the experience of others. He said the best way is from the experience of others. It's not always that practical, because some of us have that nature where we have to try things ourselves. But where you can, learn from others. Where you can't, you're just going to have to learn on the job.
You heard it from the one and only Jezza. We are so happy to have this special man on our show today. Hope you enjoyed. It's a wonderful interview. Thank you so much, Jezza. You're an incredible individual, my brother. I love and respect you, man.
You are one of my biggest inspirations, so it's a pleasure to have you in my house, in my studio, to talk to you at length.
Beautiful, man. And, thank you for having me here.
Anyone watching, I hope that someone watching took something valuable from this conversation.
Excellent, of course, man. You can't be in your company and don't take nothing valuable. Come on.
I'm going to have a bruised fist tomorrow.
Let's get it.